on our first date, he was like, I can't travel as much as you do. And so I was like, I don't need to travel a bunch. I'm like, just one international trip, one like local trip, and like maybe a road trip or two here or there. Like, I'm cool with that. And so when we got married, the first trip was Jamaica, and then we wanted to do like a kid moon for our boys. So we took them to New Orleans, which was September. So August we went to Jamaica. Yeah. September we went to New Orleans, and then October was the honeymoon. So it just happened to be like 3 back-to-back trips. But from there it was like,
I think we can do this.
Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things from around the world. And we are once again in season 4, voice 22. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell so you guys know when new episodes drop. Voyage 22, season 4 is about the culmination of the love that I have for the amazing Jacqueline Jackson, now Benjamin. And today we have an amazing duo. This duo was kind of the reason we made the plans we made outside of the love that we have for each other. So I'm going to introduce you to these two, but little sister and new big bro, I love y'all. So, keep it PG, please, please. Now, tell the people who you guys are and what you guys do.
So I am Janelle Westside.
Antoine West.
And what do you guys do?
I am a university administrator.
Nice.
And I'm a commercial industrial electrician.
Awesome. Teacher, educator, electrician. I'm trying to be like y'all when I grow up. So where are you guys originally from?
Philly.
Yeah, from Philly.
What part though? What part?
I was born in West Philly. Yeah. And then we moved up to Northeast.
That's the honest answer.
So when you deal with Philly folks, you see the love they have. They still are going back and forth on what part of Philly you're from. Mm-hmm. So be careful when you find yourself a Philly Joan, all right?
A fact. Sometimes you say Northeast and West Philly.
It's say where I'm born.
No, okay. That don't count, but it's okay.
It do count.
Okay. So tell us what got you guys into travel? What introduced you into traveling in general?
I think for me, it was college, honestly. And so, like, the programs I was in, we traveled a lot. I traveled with my family, but I didn't see that it was, like, travel. So my dad's from New Orleans. My grandparents were from Atlanta and Virginia. But to me, that didn't seem necessarily like traveling, per se. So I think when I got into travel, it was in college, like, first spring break. The trip to Miami was, like, the famous trip. Like, everybody's going to Miami. It's like, we got to go. And from there, it was like, all right, travel.
Okay, Antoine?
Yeah, for me, it had to been, my dad's born in Virginia. My grandfather used to come pick us up, but he would take us as north as Boston to go visit my aunt. And then he would even take us south as, Augusta, Georgia to visit my cousin. But we also took one trip down to Florida. But I think that got the traveling for me. But I also have friends from like Honduras, from Ghana, and the experience of different foods. I just want to try different things and different cultures and stuff like that.
Nice. So what originally, so now that you guys have these travel experiences, what is it that you look for when you travel?
Definitely food. I feel like going anywhere that doesn't have good food is like terrible for me. And I realized, I think my first international trip was Ghana. And not that Ghana had bad food. I think I was just very, like, Americanized. When I got there, I was, like, on a rice and plantain diet because I didn't know what to order. But I feel like now going anywhere, it has to have, like, you got to have good food. If it's not good food, I don't want to go back.
Yeah, I think we mostly travel for food.
I absolutely travel for food.
And, like, different experiences, something that you can't find at home. This is the city. I want to see some blue skies, some clear water, some nice beaches, because Wildwood ain't for me.
Nice. Now, so who's the planner between the two of y'all?
It's definitely Jay. But, I say yes, and I say no.
That's funny.
Smart man. So now from there, do you guys have, like, so far your travels together, what's your most memorable trip you guys have taken together?
I would say Probably our honeymoon trip.
I was about to say Jamaica too.
No, that's not the honeymoon trip.
Oh man, you're in trouble.
That's not, well, no.
I mean, it is what it is.
It wasn't really
Portland.
In Portland.
Okay.
I
was saying Jamaica.
Okay, I'm going to pick Portland just because I feel like because Jamaica was our first trip together.
Yeah.
And so I think.
But you're right, because Portland was our honeymoon destination. But as soon as we got married, the first place we went to was Jamaica.
But I don't necessarily, not just because it was the honeymoon, which is why it was most memorable to me, is because it was like something very different. I've never done it before. We've never been before. Neither one of us had been. And it was like we were in a secluded cabin by ourselves, no Wi-Fi, no cell phone service, like no nothing. It was just us. And it was just like us spending time together. So yeah.
You're right, but I am going to say Jamaica too. No, because that was our first trip as a couple, just us two chilling.
And so one of the things that I hope you guys don't mind me bringing up is you guys are vacationing almost every weekend now, right? What triggered that you guys make an a concerted effort to spend family time and try something different?
I think it was an accident.
It was an accident. So funny story. Here's a funny story, or a little. I'm not the good storyteller. He's the better storyteller. But when we first,
I'll fix your mistake.
Okay, on our first date, he was like, I can't travel as much as you do, and so I was like, I don't need to travel a bunch. I'm like, this one international trip, one like local trip, and like maybe a road trip or two here or there. Like I'm cool with that. And so when we got married, the first trip was Jamaica, and then we wanted to do like a kid moon for our boys, so we took them to New Orleans, which was September. So August we went to Jamaica. Yeah. September we went to New Orleans, and then October was the honeymoon. So it just happened to be like 3 back-to-back trips. But from there it was like,
I think we can do this.
That's like, okay, so maybe like what's like cheap or like something family we could do in November. Then it was like, all right, December, and then all right, January, and then this became I think maybe by February we became more intentional about like, okay, we can plan something once a month, like either for us or with the kids or the family or with our friends, like couples trips. We did couples trips, kids trips.
We even did a staycation in Philadelphia.
So it became like around our anniversary, like so celebrating each month of marriage. So we've been to at least 11 places.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And so with that, and the huge part is like, you're a bonus mom with bonus kids, right? How has planning for the family to travel now versus just the two of y'all? Because now you got to worry about other people's likes and dislikes, what they eat, what they don't eat, especially if one of the kids are particular, right? So like, how has that planning aspect been for you guys?
I think it's two things. I think it's very different from planning as a single person, planning as a couple, then planning as a family, right? And so one, of course, this cost is like cost for one versus cost for four. But then I think with the boys, they're just like excited to travel. So wherever we go, but we do try to pick. We let the boys.
Let them pick.
We let the boys. They don't know that they're picking. We'll just say like, hey, like tell me a place you want to go, and then they'll say a place, and then we'll try to make it work. So like the places we took them. Well, New Orleans, I really wanted them to see New Orleans.
But Kamari really wanted to go there.
New Orleans. Like that was like his place. They don't know. They're going to Puerto Rico. And so but he picked that too.
Oh, yeah, Kamari picked Puerto Rico, but we're also going to Florida. And Auden picked that, Florida. But we get to see my sister also.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So now, like, have you guys combined your bucket lists to one big bucket list, or you guys still have like your separate? You don't.
So I had well, not a bucket list, but I definitely had travel things. I don't think we really.
It's like stuff pops up, and then I send it to her, and then we do it.
That's amazing. You have the best travel buddy in the world.
No, I promise you, like, even for our anniversary this month is something I sent her while, like, in the beginning of us dating. But they're so packed as soon as it got a window open. I think it was a month before we actually got married.
No, a month after.
A month after, that's when she booked our anniversary, because it gets booked so quick.
That's crazy. So you're just like, it's a combination of throw a dart, or you see a travel deal, you see a dope thing on IG, and then you also include the kids in the mix.
Right.
And that's super dope. Like, I mean, listen, bonus moms, y'all might want to pick up a couple of tips and tricks here. But it's not about, that part, but it is about, building family. And then you guys are making a blended family look almost easy, right? Now, of course, there's aspects of that you guys got to work around. But how is traveling with children? Well, they're not all the way children, but how is it traveling as a family?
I think it's easier because they're older. Mm-hmm. One thing that I'm more cognizant of is because I have 2 boys, or so if we're sharing like a hotel room, I'm in a room with 3 boys. So it's like I have to be mindful. Like we get suites, we try to get the bigger rooms, we try to get like clothes offs as possible. So just that part, I think has been not necessarily a challenge, but something to be mindful of. Whereas if I had if it was all girls, we could all sleep in the bed or whatever. It's like just making sure they have space and not feel that they don't have their space too, but they're just so easygoing in terms of like activities and things. It's like what do we do?
They have a go with the flow type attitude.
Nice.
One is a little picky with his food, but
that's why we're the same picky.
Yeah, y'all might be the same picky, but Kamari he's experimental like me.
So how do you deal with the pickiness of like travel, like the food?
There's burgers everywhere.
There's always a burger you can get. Yeah. Awesome. So now we get to Voyage 22, right? So y'all took us on this most expensive seafood dinner of our life.
I mean, I didn't know he picked this restaurant.
And
wait, what was that?
Catch.
we don't get free everything.
I forgot about that.
So we went on this it was a dope experience. I'm all jokes aside, if I don't spend money on food, I spend money on travel. So and then technology is the third thing.
Well, you want to know how I picked it?
Well, hold on.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna get to the story. So you know what? How did you pick Catch? Because you thought it was the other Catch.
It's the one we was in New York, right?
Yeah. No, he didn't know it was 2. Go ahead, tell me how you picked the
I just seen the dessert flaming on IG, and then I sent it to her. And next thing we know,
let's go. Mm-hmm. So let's blame Janelle for the misplaced ticket on the meal that we.
Yes, that's a fact. And I count costs like that too.
Listen, but nonetheless, it was a dope experience. Like we got to sit down and chat with y'all, and oddly enough, a lot of people don't know the decision for us to get married a year later was really based on the conversation we had at that table. So with that being said, how did you feel about like hearing that we took that conversation further, and even better, we took it to Morocco?
I was excited, of course. I thought I was ecstatic. I felt like, again, I saw the love between you both, and I knew it was coming. It was just kind of like, just set the date. We can go. We can be out. So much so that, to be honest, I was looking at my receipts, not about costs, but when we booked our plane ticket, so we got married July 23rd. Mm-hmm. We booked the flights from Morocco for your wedding July 28th.
Oh, wow.
That's love.
We just got home.
We just got home. It was like we just got home. It was like, we gotta get these flights to Morocco while they're cheap.
Yeah.
And then from there, so once again, earlier we talked about traveling with children. You also have a dog. Like, what was preparing for a trip like Morocco for 5 days? What was that like? Because there's a lot of parents out there that are trying to figure out, how do we do vacations such that you have a place for the kids to stay, you have a doggy sitter, and then even if you didn't have family drop them off, right? There's always consideration. So what was that planning phase like for y'all?
Well, even if it's on my week, I mean, their mom's pretty open with taking them, and then she even takes the dog sometimes. Nice. But my mom, she lives 5 minutes from here, and that's her grand dog, so she watches the dog also. But we have a couple relatives that open to take August. She's a good dog.
No, here she go.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think also too, I mean, within that, adding to that, we just have a lot of support. So I think community is key, and having that community, because we haven't had to use a kennel yet, or it hasn't been a situation where we couldn't do something. Mm-hmm. But I think our support system and support network is huge in being able to do that for sure.
Okay.
I think if we didn't have that, it could be barriers for sure.
So how difficult or easy was it to like plan this trip out? Because you as the organizer, and then on top of that, Jackie gave y'all succinct instructions on what to wear and what we're gonna do. So what was that like?
See, for me, I love stuff like that because it just made it easier for me. Like if you tell me, like, you know, these are the days, these are the themes, this is the color, boom, boom, it works. Like I don't have to think about it. So I feel like between Jackie and Stella, between like their itinerary, it was just like easy to that part. I didn't have to take care of. This was probably one of the first trips that it was just like just pay, show up, look at the paper, and do the things. But I think the biggest thing was getting the flights. But once we had the flights, it was, you know, you guys already picked out the hotels and that part was easy. The itinerary was easy. I think it was just about, and we had enough time. We had enough time to plan, like,
See, she packs early. I'm a late packer.
So y'all probably didn't even empty out your existing suitcases before y'all even, because y'all were still moving around. So.
Yeah, well, even when we came back, we had to shoot down in Virginia because my grandfather was sick. So it was.
Oh, you mean from?
From y'all wedding. So from y'all wedding to Morocco, y'all been.
The suitcases just sit. They just sit in the living room and they rotate. We just rotate them in and out.
Yeah, they rarely hit the basement or the attic.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So now, what was travel like? And not just what was travel like, what was that experience like? Because you guys both have been in Africa before. And so what was that experience like when you landed in Morocco? Like, first of all, what was that travel like? Because a lot of us had some you heard the stories at the table. There were some people that missed flights. Their flights got canceled. So what was the transportation like, one? And then two, what was that experience like when you guys landed?
I think it was pretty, outside of it being long, I think it was pretty, like, easy in terms of, we had a connecting flight. We had a long layover. But I think, though we went to Jamaica for our honeymoon, I think going to Africa, like, with my husband, just in general was dope. I think, like, taking that, like, extra stuff. So, like, the Caribbean, that's international for sure. But, like, being able to go to Africa, so getting off the plane, one in Portugal, and then, like we in Africa. We're in Morocco. Like, so I think that part was easy. It was long. I think the hardest part of it was just long. But
you slept.
I did, but
I didn't.
Sleeping.
So what was it like when you guys landed there? Because it's different from South Africa. I mean, you guys.
Yeah, it was totally different from like Ghana. I'm like, where the black people at?
Yeah, it was like more Indian. It looked like, to me, it was
they're
like
more Arabic
than
African. I mean, they are African. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely different. North Africa. But I mean, I guess one could assume that I would know that, but I ain't do no research. They were like, in that way, I was just happy to go and happy to support the love, so I didn't do the traditional research that I would do.
Yeah, because it was already basically done.
You didn't have to worry about nothing.
I did not.
So from there, you guys, you guys had transportation from the airport to the hotel, and now for I don't know about you, but when we veered off the main path, it was like nothing. And then, so remember to get to the Janelle Thompson was the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Marianne and staff. But to get to our hotel, it's like you leave the beaten path, and then you're like, where are we going? Like, what was that experience like that? And then once you got into the Janelle Thompson, because you guys were kind of living pretty nice over there. Yeah. So let's talk about the hotel.
Yeah.
This is the second spot?
The first hotel.
The first spot.
So also shout out to the Benjamins for upgrading our suite. So one thing, Jackie pulled us to the side when we got there, because we were celebrating at the same time. We were in the day after you guys got married. It was our 9-month anniversary. So Jackie pulled me to the side early and was like, we upgraded your room. So we had a nice room, and then you guys upgraded our room. So thank you. But the property was beautiful. So I think coming into it, like we first landed, beautiful. It was like, I think still doesn't all that we were in Morocco or in Africa in general. But then, like you said, driving up to the property, it was just like something out of a magazine. It was just like your Pinterest board comes to life. Like, this is so pretty. And then our room was dope. We had a little pool.
Yeah, as soon as you walked out the room, like our pool was right there, a little private pool.
Yeah, I was just living life in a little private section.
Newlywed life is nice.
Oh, must be nice. So later that night, so when we landed, we gave everybody some tips and tricks for the Medina, because you've been to South Africa, and I don't think there's a market similar to the Medina. And in Ghana, I I don't think it's something like that in Ghana, but
Well,
maybe
they have the
larger
art
markets.
district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day, you guys go to the Medina. What was the Medina like for y'all? If y'all were to describe that experience,
New York Canal.
Yes, definitely. It was definitely sensory overload, colors, smells, people, fast paced,
snake charmers, monkeys,
all that. And so one thing I will say too for travelers, here's my travel tip. Sometimes it's good to just go see it and to be organic and not look up a lot of stuff, because I feel like I looked up what the Medina would look like and it looked exactly like that. But then sometimes
it took the all
way. So it was I definitely had all the things, but at the same time I was oh, this looks exactly like Instagram, which you want, but at the same time I was it's Instagram.
So one of my guests said that Disney does a great, horrible job. They do a great job reenacting what certain countries look like. So when you actually get there, you're not as excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty interesting that you say that. Try to take it in for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, did you guys get anything from the Medina?
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of stuff. We got a bunch of Oreos.
I got wallets.
We got all the little wallets. Let's go.
We got a lot of stuff. We got teapot. So they had the best Moroccan tea.
Moroccan tea is so good.
I'm a tea drinker, so we actually got a antique teapot. We got the tea. We got some jiggy jiggy.
Oh,
you know what the jiggy jiggy?
No, I don't know what jiggy jiggy is. We'll talk about that offline. I'm not sure what jiggy jiggy is.
No, it's just some spices. It's Moroccan spices, but
Gotcha.
we got that. We got the black soap.
Mm-hmm.
You got the caftans. You got caftans.
Yeah, I got one for me and one for Kamar.
Mm-hmm. What else do we get? I feel like.
Good job. So everything was really good deal. Really good. Really best price.
Facts.
Best price. So
haggle.
did you guys haggle much, or you guys just kind of realized, you know what, I'm paying $2 for this thing. Do I really need to?
It depends on. I feel like because we went to the store. Only thing I haggled.
Yeah, we bought most of our stuff from the store.
So it was I just want to set the price. The only thing I haggled for, it was a little snake that I wanted to get for Auden, and so he was trying to charge me $10. I was like, look. Take the $2, nothing. Because I'm it's a wooden snake. Give me a snake.
Just walk away.
Away and he gave it to me for $2, but it was sir, I'm not giving you $10 for this.
Okay. So later that evening, we had the rooftop reception and dinner. Let's just talk about that. And then Marianne's house for the reception, the after party.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for y'all?
It was beautiful.
Yeah, with the sunset coming down.
Oh, you guys got there early,
yes.
Huh?
Yeah,
okay.
We were on time.
Listen. We gave everybody CP time. So if you got there on
Look,
time,
we even moved the light over where everybody started taking pictures of.
Okay.
We started that.
I appreciate it.
We set the scene for y'all.
I appreciate it. Okay. So
it was nice.
Yeah, because there was, and then we had. So somebody reminded me that when those guys came, it was like a second line at a wedding.
Didn't I say that?
And so, and then on top of that, you had Dad busting a move when you went downstairs. So what was that like? What was that like walking to the table and then getting to that beautiful long table?
That honestly, I mean, for me, that was my favorite part for a lot of reasons. One, like you said, tapped into the second line. Being from New Orleans, to me, it was this is a second line. This is dope. But it's the Moroccan second line, so it was even doper. But then to get to the table, to walk down to that table was beautiful.
Yeah.
And just
and it was no light, straight candle lit everywhere we went.
It was just the ambiance. It was so romantic. It was beautiful.
50 plus beautiful melanated.
And yes, and everyone was just so pretty,
chilling.
and it was beautiful.
And so from there we went over to Marianne's house. What did you think of Marianne's house?
Where the DJ was, where the outside, that was dope. I didn't know that was her house.
Yeah, I didn't know that was her house either.
I think there was 2 rooms that she was people from our group was staying in. But yeah, that was her house.
Oh, that's lit.
She curates all of that herself. So all the art, she goes out and finds it, and it's all black art. So she really does a good job in making sure that she curates that to the point where it matches the energy she wants the space to have. Now from there we go to the wedding the next day. Right now, one of the things that a couple people suggested is that the phones get taken away so that people can really be in the moment.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. But what did you guys think about the ceremony? Because we had Janae who did the officiating and then a breathing technique, and then Janae's husband who came in and provided kind of like some tools to growing a loving marriage. Like, what was you guys' thoughts?
I think the whole setup was it was beautiful. Everything was beautiful. I keep saying beautiful, but it really was. Like, there's really no words to really capture like the essence, but just like love winning, if you will. But the ceremony, it was private. It was beautiful. It was quaint. It was calm. It was like love is flowing. Love is flowing. The set was amazing, and I did. While we didn't give our phones, I think they took them after we sat down, so we just was on the side. But I do appreciate the taking of the phone, so people can be present. Like, just like calm your heart, focus your mind, like on the bride and groom, and like listen to it. And even the breathing technique, I love Janae's voice, but I feel like that centered people to like take in what's about to happen. Like, this is a union between two people, so that was dope for sure. And I just. It was beautiful.
Well, for me, the whole phone thing was like a respect thing. You ask people not to be all with their cameras. It's like, so if you don't have the willpower, then yeah, give it up. I'm like, it's gonna stay in my pocket.
Right.
But I mean, it's just a respect thing. You asked us not to do that, and so we.
And when I was doing my freestyle, I looked up. Some people had sand in their eyes. Did you? I had sand in my eyes too.
Oh, no, I was just crying.
I saw other people with sand in their eyes.
No, I was crying.
And so, what did you guys think about? Because Jackie wrote her 4-page letter. I did my little freestyle. What did you guys think about that in itself?
I was crying. My eyes. Were your eyes sweating?
Kept the G. What's
He was crying. No, but I think again. Based on how you set it up to be able to take it in, and the focus was there, and just to hear the exchange, and so like for you, like being my big brother, when you did the little, it was like, and it was like like tears. The tears was like, oh my god,
I wasn't crying.
Like, yes,
there was something in my eyes.
Nah, it's something about seeing your bride come out, man. It just triggers it. It was a beautiful thing to witness.
Yeah, man. Now from there, we had the reception. Right now, for those of you who don't know, I'm the man. I'm a man of Omega Sci-Fi, and we had the Serenade Omega Sweetheart song for Jackie, and then after that, we had the bruh setting out a hop. Now, oh my gosh, you had a whole bunch of old brothers out there setting it out.
Old brothers.
Let's just say y'all seen the pictures. I'm still recovering. But
that second hop got you.
That second one got me. It got me bad, but. We had the cool dance of the married couples, right? And being able to like count off how many years everybody's been married. Like, how did you feel about that? And then, of course, Janae and Claudius were like the longest married couple there. But like, what was that like for you guys?
Well, what I liked is we got to be cool with other couples. So the DJ and we're conversating with them, so they knew how long we were married. He kept going like right before we was getting off. We're like, are you doing it on purpose? So I think that definitely getting to know other people, I thought it was dope.
That definitely was dope. It was cool because he was like, so again, at that point, it was like couples, if you've been married 8 months, and I was like, all right, we got this. And it was like 9 months. I was like, all right, we gotta get off the stage. But I think, like you said, meeting the other couples, seeing the love and how many years was there, it's because like love is a beautiful thing, right? And being married and being able to be married and experience that, I hope. Like, my hope for everyone is that you find someone and that you find the love and that you can experience it, whether it's for a day, hopefully it's for a lifetime, but just to have one day like with your spouse and to get that, and I think it was just a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. So
nice. Now we had some parting gifts for everybody, little mason jars. The goal was to kind of have everybody take a little bit of Africa with them. What did you guys take back with you guys?
It's actually right in our cabinet.
I didn't know that was for that. We were supposed to take sand or something?
Whatever you wanted.
I put the spices
to
in it. I put one I filled with some spices that we bought, and then one is filled with Moroccan tea. I took 2.
That's all good. So we got people that put flowers from the garden there, sand, dirt, all of the stuff you're technically not supposed to bring back to the United States. But, hey, who's checking, right?
I accidentally brought money, so.
Yes.
You're good. Well, I mean, I usually bring stuff back to give to my nieces and nephews. So like, I gave my niece 1,000 rand. I mean, 1,000 rand, maybe like $100, right? So it really depends on what you bring back. I think it's like you're not bringing back like wads of cash to become a problem. So the next day, did you guys do the hammam with the group, or and if you did, what was that experience like?
I love spas. Spas is like, I definitely will spend some money on a spa, and so I was very much looking forward to it. I didn't know exactly what it was. Like, I've done Korean body scrubs and body spas, so I thought it was like maybe equivalent. But we were actually able to do ours even with the group privately. So we had a private experience.
Is like private couple or just like
private couple?
Yeah, it was just
private. It's like it was just us two, like all the way through. Even though we were with the bigger group, but I think he was probably like, what is going on?
Was it comfortable having another person wash you and then like follow up with a massage?
No, we did the massage first.
We did massage first.
Okay,
Look, that massage. I was sleeping.
And he was sleeping.
I was sleeping.
And he was snoring. I was like, don't embarrass me.
No need to be embarrassed. But what was that experience like? Because like, you know, getting bathed by a stranger is a different experience. So what did you guys take from that, if anything?
I was thinking of, this is probably so cliche and so like juvenile, ignorant, but like coming to America, like, but the royal treatment of being like washed and scrubbed and like catered to in that way. But it was very relaxing. But one of the things that Saeed, so the tour guide, was like, this is a normalcy for people in Morocco. I was like, we need this like to de-stress. Like, this should be a normalcy here for real, but just to relax and have like that free time. But I don't know, it was nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely do it again.
And the next day, you guys went to the YSL Museum and the garden. Did you guys not do that? We didn't. What'd you guys do instead?
We just did a day to ourselves. So we had to go to we went to the other hotel, the Dar Saba. And so we had like a really nice room with like a private pool. So we're just gonna chill. So we just kind of like took that day, chilled.
Nice. And tell people like, the itinerary is an itinerary. It's a guide for your trip. It's not necessarily like you got to do every single thing. So tell people how, just talk about like just going off the beaten script and how sometimes that's necessary.
It is. And so I think a plan is there so you can have a plan, because I'm personally very much a fan of itineraries, because I don't want to get to a place and it's like, oh, spend 6 hours trying to figure out what we should do, and or spend extra money when I could either got a better deal, figured it out, pay it first the right time, because then you don't want to get scammed. You can be able to look up stuff. So I'm very much like a proponent of like, get the itinerary, boom, boom, boom. But I'm also a fan of, we don't have to do it. I just want it there. So when I get there, like, we didn't spend all this money to come and sleep. Like there are vacations where it's like, this is a sleep vacation. We're not doing nothing. We're chilling. We're staying in a room all day. But if I'm flying 17 hours. I don't think the flight was that long, but if I'm flying anything over 4 hours, I'm not staying in the room all day. So I think, but just because of all of the adrenaline for the wedding, doing all the things, wanting to be
and then packing up and then moving to another hotel.
Yeah,
we just needed
so
another
what was that
day.
Second hotel like?
It was beautiful.
Because y'all, that second hotel was swanky.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to be like, yo, let's switch hotel.
that thing was nice. It was so I wouldn't say the first hotel was like a party hotel. It was like the event hotel, because it's where everything was happening. The second hotel was just like the cool down or the wind down. It was like very chill. It was quiet. There weren't a lot of people. Both hotels were boutique, so it didn't have a lot of rooms, but it was just like quiet. But our room specifically was like to the side. We just had our own little thing. It was just like,
as soon as we got there, they took our bags there, and then we went out to sightsee. We seen a hammock, and we was like, we chilled rest of the night.
And it was like,
nice. Now, you mentioned getting to Morocco. You weren't expecting so many like white Moroccans, white Africans, right? And the question I typically ask guests is, what has your traveling while black experience been like? I think a lot of times people are afraid to go to other countries because they feel like they'll be treated worse than they are treated here, or they'll be treated similar. But like, in your experiences, what has travel while black been like?
For me,
I remember you light skin.
Yeah, you light skinned. So you fit in the. You go to Puerto Rico.
They definitely thought I was Moroccan there.
Yeah,
but even when I was like in Ghana, it was like they were like, "Oh, where you from?" And then they want you to have a great time because they want you to come back. And then even there, it's the same way. Like, "Oh, you having fun? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this or whatever?" So, my experience has always been good, but.
So I would say
you got it. You got two folds. You got it as being a black woman on top of that.
Yeah,
so.
I think I've always had a dope experience. I would think wherever I went, I've been to a number of countries, number of places, but I do sometimes. Here's a story. We went to our honeymoon. My husband, because he likes me. So we were like in the middle of the sticks, and sometimes it's like you just don't know. So being black in America, so I feel like. I probably am more scared sometimes going to places in America than I am traveling abroad. Like abroad is like, I'm black, but I'm American, but they don't really know what I am until I speak. So, and then sometimes you get treated well for being an American. Like, I just never been anywhere abroad where I've had like a scary experience. One time, or my second trip to Europe, my first trip to Europe, I saw a hostel. This is why, so I'm telling you, and I was like terrified to go outside because of hostel, but I was also like 20, and I was like, this is crazy. I was with the school trip, but I was the only black person with my school group, and so like hostel scarred me. But it wasn't really the people there; it was the movie. But when we were in Washington State, and I don't know if you ever saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but you know, like those little general stores, and
right.
So we get
first of all, we pulled up. And it was the best smelling fried chicken I ever smelled. So I'm like, man, there had to be somebody black cooking in the kitchen.
But it wasn't nobody.
It wasn't.
It was nobody black. Nobody black to be found. So we get inside the store, and so mind you, we're staying like in some cabins like down the street. And so the man was like, "Y'all staying in them little tiny cabins?"
And I was like, "Yup, we sure enough are."
I was like, take me to the airport now. This man is gonna kill us. This man's gonna come back to kill us tonight. And so, but again. That was more or less in my head, but
I was all like, "Man, we should eat here." And she's like, "No, we won't."
I was like, "No, listen." I was like, "No," because it felt like the eyes were.
But to me, it felt like when I was at my grandparents' hometown, Amelia. That's how it felt to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So black.
It felt homey to me.
Light skin. Light skin. No, but so I think my opinion, I would say I feel safer outside of the country. There's parts of the United States where it's like a little sketchy. Even honestly, where we're going for our anniversary trip, it's like central Pennsylvania, and so living in central Pennsylvania for 2 years is like that's sketchy. It's gonna be like my head gonna be on a swivel, but it wasn't necessarily. I wasn't on a swivel in Morocco because of race. It might be on a swivel because like I'm a tourist, but not they're gonna target me because I'm black or because I'm American. They're just targeting me because they think I have tourist money, So but.
Interesting. So, with that being said, like the pandemic had a lot of people in lockdown for at least 2 years. I know at least the two of us, as soon as they said you can fly, we was on our way out. What has the new normal looked like? What does the new normal look like for you two as it relates to living life and travel?
I would say for me, I think for us, it definitely has changed. So even the fact that we booked our anniversary trip in Pennsylvania, it was like, we don't know what the status of the world will be, what flying will be. And with all these restrictions, some places it's like I'd rather not go because it's too restricted. I'd rather wait, maybe if it opens or not. And so I think that's changed our travel a little bit to be more, let's explore the United States.
Gotcha.
Right? And so all of our trips back to being able to travel on the weekends is like we pick a state or pick somewhere that's either driving distance or a short flight. And we're just now trying to do the United States versus other countries until either it gets, I don't want to say safer because I don't think it's ever going to be a safer, but maybe restrictions drop. These flights is ridiculous right now. So if flying anywhere right now is just like, it's a challenge.
But it's flying and then gas prices. I'm
right.
paying, like I was paying like $60 in. I was paying like $60 in gas. Now I'm paying like almost $80 to $90 in gas, and I have regular gas.
Right.
So it's really good. And then the further south you go, the cheaper the gas is. Mm-hmm. So once I started coming up north, once I passed that Mason-Dixon, and you guys talk about $5-6 a gallon, I was like, whoo! I moved to the right place.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And so normalcy. Do you think we are in a place of normalcy, or like, what do you think?
I think it's opening up.
And I think it's also like, it's definitely opening up, and I think it's whatever normal you make it. So our normal right now is, like I said, is in terms of travel, it's we try, if we can, to pick somewhere that we can get to relatively quickly, but without a lot of health, COVID, cost restrictions, whatever barriers like that. So that's our normal.
I mean, even with the restrictions or whatever, we still like wear a mask in the airplane, even though they say you don't have to. But it's just it's a good like confined area.
Right.
Yeah. So now, if a person is like, "Hey, Janelle, Antoine, I want to start traveling. What does it look like?" What would be your like top 3 tips to tell them how to?
You can absolutely travel. You just need to plan for it. But my top 3 trips.
Top 3 tips.
Tips. That's what I meant to say.
Find,
Trips is on my mind.
find a good wife to plan everything.
Find a good packer to pack everything.
You can be the picker. Let her be the planner.
I think you have to be flexible. So my number 1 tip for trips is to be flexible. You have to go sometimes where the deal is, and being like flexible. So we just took a road trip to like Rhode Island, and it may not be everyone's top choice, but it's like they have this island.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful island that you go to, but it's not a short car ride, but like 4-hour car ride. It's not Cancun, it's not Morocco, it's not Jamaica, but you could take your family a 4-hour trip from Philadelphia. That's an easy trip. So being flexible.
Yeah, go somewhere different. Stop doing. I don't even want to go to Cancun or Miami. Go somewhere different.
Yeah. And then I would say, like, for travel with flights specifically, sometimes you have to go when the flights are cheap. You can't have a date in mind and say, like, I want to go to LA January 10th to the 12th. You might have to go the 8th to the 9th because that's when, like, the cheap ticket is, and just, like, make it a day. Because we went to Atlanta for $30 on a flight.
$30.
But it was a 24-hour. We left Saturday, like 6 a.m. Saturday morning, and came back like 6 p.m. Sunday night. But it was a $30 airline ticket. Got a cheap hotel room. Just went to Atlanta just to eat.
Went there to eat, visit some friends,
some
come back.
Right there. Y'all fancy.
$30. But see, that's a meal. That's a meal for like.
That's Chick-fil-A.
Facts for a family of 4.
Well, I definitely appreciate you guys doing this. This was a definitely dope conversation. Do you guys want to leave the audience with something? Travel, family, anything?
I would say my final closing tip is to take all kinds of trips. Like, you have to have your like vacations with your partner. If you have a family, definitely take family vacations, but then also have vacations separate too, like your girls' vacation, your guys' vacations. But take the vacations, like whatever kind of vacation it is. Absolutely make time for it. Prioritize travel. That's my tip.
Antoine?
Just have fun. Be open. Don't box yourself in.
With that said, once again, I thank you guys. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell so you guys know when new episodes drop. Travel more, stay safe. Peace.